Really quickly, I just wanted to ask, when it comes to fatherhood and life adjustments and preparing, especially when it comes to preparing in real estate, but more specifically, just as a dad,
Mhm.
tell the people watching what were your expectations as far as before you became a dad,
Right.
and then just life adjustments that you had to go through as started your journey in fatherhood and how it's going, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of there's many layers to it, right? Before you're a dad, when you're just kind of like single and you're working and you're just trying to make a life for yourself. You really just want to make sure that your basic needs are taken care of. Right? You don't care what you eat, as long as you eat. You don't care how much you sleep. Matter of fact, sleep is not even on the radar. Young and single is like whatever. I can, hang out all night, work all day,
Right.
get home at 3, wake up at 7, 8, do it again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The good old days. And then, when you find out you become a father, you don't really understand. Like you have an expectation, depending on if you're gonna have a boy and a girl, like it's a whole different mindset as a dad. Whole completely different, like, you know, if you have a daughter, you're thinking if I have a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
you're supreme protection mode.
Okay. Okay.
If you have a son, you're being protective, but yo, you gotta be tough, you gotta be like me.
Mm.
Now mind you, as as an expecting dad,
Mm-hmm.
two things you don't take into effect. One is if you have a son, you don't take into effect that there's another person that contributed to that person. Like they actually have another mother who's has her personality, has her
Mm.
whole set of kinks and quirks and whatever have you.
Right.
And typically that child, some may be more dominant, but there's a joining of looks, personality, thought process, you know, and then as they get older, they start to create their own little personality, thought process. So that part of it, before you when you think you're having a child, you don't really calculate that part. You're not even thinking, oh, they're gonna grow up and have their own thought process and have their own idea about things, and
Right.
I didn't even. And now as my son is getting like 10, like I'm like, oh, you got thoughts and ideas that don't even equate to how mommy and daddy think, because you have your own little experiences. You live in a completely different world than what I grew up in, what his
Right.
mother grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go through that, and then you have the child, and there is a point in your life where, listen, as a parent, I was like, yo, I don't think I really understood. I'm not sure I signed up for this.
Ah, yes.
You start contemplating like, hmm, like, whoo,
Like, what part of the contract was
yeah,
this, right?
this, ain't, this ain't what I thought I signed up for. I missed the tiny words at the bottom of the
Right.
contract.
That are written and clear. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And it's hilarious because when I first did the FMLA, you stay home.
yeah.
Now, listen, I was an active dad. Like I helped out. Some things I was proactive, some things but I wanted to be a part of every process, from changing to feeding to everything.
Okay.
And but the first day it was just me and him,
Aw.
and I went through my list.
Okay.
Fed. All right. He burped. Wait a couple minutes.
Uh-huh.
He's still crying. I'm like,
Mm.
now he's like 3 months. And I'm not even gonna lie, like 30 minutes in, it became war. It became a battle of attrition. Like, yo, he's trying me right now. Oh, you want to play like this? Oh, this is what we doing, my man?
Right.
You're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today. So listen. I'm like, all right, let me calm down. Fast forward, like literally 5 minutes, I go, oh, he peed. I might need to change his diaper. That's why he's annoyed right now.
Right.
That is a microcosm of parenthood. Like you get into your feelings of what you think it should be and who you think they should be and who you think they are, and you get in your ego. And a lot of, because every parent makes mistakes, and a lot of the mistakes are because you don't really, I don't think you ever, or there's a growing process of you taking to a fact that they're their own person. Now when they're babies, they're their own little person. When they become bigger, they become their own teen person. They become their own adult person. And I think that's like, even now, like with my mother, she be like, we'll have conversations and she's talking to me like I'm like fresh out the womb. I'm like, I'm a full grown man right now. I'm not your baby anymore.
Right.
And it absolutely relates to my son. I kind of do the same thing at times. I catch myself. I gotta be like, oh, I gotta step back and let them kind of figure it out for themselves. So that's the interconnectiveness with your child. And when you add in, wanting to provide for them financially and wanting to guide them and make sure they do things right way and make sure they have the best opportunities, that becomes another layer of stress, or another layer of, I don't want to say, to me, it's not stress. I'm not necessarily stressed, but it's another concern that you just need to be aware of, putting them in the right position to have the right opportunity, to have the right schooling, to have the right this, providing for them financially so they don't feel like, they are not missing anything.
Right.
And then when you add the fact that although neither expectation is less, like there's no difference in expectation, the expectation for a man or the father as opposed to expectation for the mother are different, and each of them carry their own intricacies and concerns and things that each individual copes with in different ways, but they're still there no matter what. And you have to make choices of, am I working too much? Am I there for them? But as a father, like your whole thing is, I gotta provide, I gotta figure it out. I gotta, and I know there's some single mothers that do the same thing, and respect to them, but I grew up from my dad was always a everyday dad, and he instilled in me that, as a man, you have to do what you have to do and provide. So that's the perspective that I come from.